So today we're gonna do a little test. I was very curious about the Blackmagic. This new Blackmagic Pocket camera is 1,200 bucks, and I think it's pretty impressive for the price. So we're gonna do a little test. We just did the firmware update to the Blackmagic Raw. So we're gonna shoot Blackmagic Raw here. We're gonna shoot also with the GH5 on the Ninja. We're gonna shoot internal and external as well on the GH5 to kind of compare this. And of course, we're gonna make a very fair comparison to a RED Gemini 5K. We're shooting project base 2398, no compression on each, so that, and then we'll do some high frame rates, which will test also the compression rates.
We did a comparison between the GH5, the new Blackmagic Pocket 4K, and the RED Gemini topside and underwater. Obviously, the RED is in a class of its own, but it stands to show how the GH5 and Blackmagic stack up. We tried out some high frame rates and pushed the cameras to their recording limits. While topside, we used the Atomos Ninja 5 with the GH5, which allowed us to record Apple ProRes 422 HQ. The GH5 and Blackmagic cameras are mirrorless micro four thirds cameras, while the RED has a Super 35 sensor. The GH5 is a photo-video hybrid with a slight emphasis on video, while the RED and Blackmagic are purely cinema cameras. It's hard to tell the difference between the three cameras, especially when looking at it on your computer screen. You really have to go into the colors while editing to see the major differences between these cameras. We were very pleased with all three of these cameras. The Blackmagic was such an upgrade from the previous rendition. We shot the GH5 and the Blackmagic in 4K 60 frames per second, but the RED in 5K 96 frames per second. So again, it's not really fair to compare the RED, but the Blackmagic and GH5 definitely hold up and are great prosumer cameras. As you can see, we only did a simple color grade to this footage. We were very impressed with the Blackmagic's color science and low light capabilities for being such a low price point. Its low light ability was better than the GH5, but it remains to be seen how the newer iteration of the GH5, the GH5S, which is far better suited for low light, will stack up against the Blackmagic. Both the Panasonic GH5 and the Blackmagic Pocket 4K cinemas have a 1-inch micro four thirds sensor, which is 18mm by 13.5mm. They both accept micro four thirds lenses, which are manufactured by both Olympus and Panasonic. The Panasonic 7 to 14mm and 12 to 35mm lenses are popular choices for video, and are equivalent to 14 to 28mm and 24 to 70mm respectively on a full frame camera. We took all three cameras underwater in the cold, lush waters of Catalina Island, which is part of the Channel Islands in Southern California. We used Nauticam underwater housings from Blue Water Photos rental fleet. Nauticam housings are machine-crafted high-quality aluminum housings, with ergonomic controls easy to use with gloves on. The housings had dome ports matched with wide-angle zoom lenses for maximum flexibility underwater. We filmed with natural light or with light in motion and Kraken underwater video lights for all of the underwater footage. The housings were easy to maneuver underwater and had fairly neutral buoyancy. The GH5 and Blackmagic housings are noticeably smaller and lighter than housings for traditional cinema cameras. Underwater, we are not able to use the Ninja with the GH5, so our max recording was 4K 60 at 420 8-bit, which you can see a difference with. One larger drawback we noticed with the Blackmagic underwater was the autofocus. The GH5 was faster and had better autofocus options, while the Blackmagic is single point only. The RED doesn't have an autofocus option, but the zoom and focus gears on the RED housing are designed with cinema in mind, making them extremely smooth. In this shot of the lobsters, you can see the GH5 being pushed to its limits. In this shot, we are not using any lights, and you can see how much better the Blackmagic handles the low light situation. We're not trying to sponsor the Blackmagic, but for its $12.95 price point, it's hard to beat. Using the Blackmagic was similar to using the GH5 with a Ninja monitor. As a primary camera for newer cinematographers, or even a secondary camera for experienced ones, the new Pocket is a great price for what it has to offer. Thank you for watching the video, and please respond with any questions you might have, and check out our website, bluewaterphotostore.com.